5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
On the edge of the box is Madden. Madden trying to manufacture the shot, gets it away, it's there! Oh my word! What a goal from Paddy Madden! The Irishman strikes again! And is that the goal that's going to send Stockport County back into the Football League?
I'll talk about hump day, guys. Am I right? Yes, it is Wednesday, 7 o'clock in the PM, which can only mean one thing. No, silly, it's not the one show. The one show is for people who get out of the shower to have a wee. It's your weekly recommended dose of county-themed news, views, and opinions, courtesy of us. Us, here at the Scarf Bagara War. It's too hot, to be honest. I'd normally have more there, but it's just too hot. Sweating like Barry Conlon on a breathalyzer. Russ Johnson, you do it, mate. How
do
you doing?
what?
All right?
Do an intro. I'm doing.
Do it all.
Just do it all.
Everything.
Okay. No, I can't, mate. I need you with me. Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm sweating, and the thing is, I'm sweating. But I've got to have the door shut because there's work being done outside, so I don't want to be into. She doesn't want to listen to me drawing on about county either, so I'm sweltering it. Having said that, I've got a brew, so being northern about it.
I mean, it's as hot as you want anyway, and then I've got like a severe case of cup fever. Hey, God bless the milk cup. Hey. We've got the draw later, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. We're not going to be on air when the draw happens, are we? Because it's going to be 9:45, innit, or something, 10 o'clock. Going to stay up late for that. I've got school in the morning, so I'll have to stay up late.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not allowed. I'm going to have to tape it and check it out in the morning. I'm going to have to video plus it.
God, do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Shall I tell everybody what's coming up?
Please do, mate. Please, because I don't have a clue.
Well, we're going to talk about the Stevenage defeat on Saturday. We're going to talk about Harrogate last night. We've got somebody joining us very shortly who everybody will probably know of, and he went to the match, so he can give us the away match insight. Inside and outside the ground, we've learned just before we came on air, so we'll talk about that. We're going to look forward to Colchester on Saturday. And we will talk about the cup draw, and we'll have a bit of a chat about the fan park and anything else county related that comes into our heads.
Even some non-county related stuff, probably.
Probably some non-county
I've got
related
some
stuff.
very strong views on ice creams and ice lollies, so stay tuned for that.
Let's do that. Yeah, let's do a bit of that. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, sounds cool.
Well, what's better for you, Ross? Do you prefer ice cream or an ice lolly?
I prefer ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when you have a cornetto, do you not find you get parched after it? You get an ice cream to cool you down, don't you? Then cornetto, when you get all the cone and chocolate at the end, you're like parched. Then you're like, oh, I wish I had a fruit pasta lolly. Just buy both. Be a pig, like me.
You could be. It's funny because I like ice cream, but I am. Where would a twister come into this? Is that a lolly?
See, now this is it, mate, because it's got like a kind of ice creamy thing to it. But no, I think it's more of a lolly because it's primarily fruit based.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, I've got the reason why I don't like lollies is I've got a bit of a phobia of ice and everything ice and sand. I've got a phobia of. Bit of a phobia going.
It's coarse and it's rough and it gets everywhere.
Yeah, and it makes me shiver with you just talking about it. So,
sorry, mate.
So are we going to talk? Should we get? Are we going
to? This isn't
a
good time to unveil that ice sculpture I've had commissioned of you, is it?
No, it's not. If it was smooth on the outside, though, that wouldn't bother me. You know, when you get ice cubes that are smooth, I don't mind them. But if you break into them and you get the ice that's all coarse.
When it was like icy and you had to go to school as a kid, were you petrified that the icicles were going to come down and kill you? Is that where it's all come from?
I don't know where. No, it's not that, but I don't know where it's come from. I don't know.
More on Ross's therapy session next week.
Yeah, let's do that later. Should we get our guest out?
Yes.
So we're having on tonight Benji from Bask. You'll know him from the owner of Bask or the co-owner of Bask. He's also a massive county fan, and we're delighted to have him on. So let's get him out. Hello, Benji.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Not bad, not bad. Yeah, thanks for coming on. Obviously, we know each other from well, just from Bask and things like that. But I've got to ask the first question: why Benji? It's Ben Taylor, isn't it? Benji sounds like a dog to me.
Yeah, it's Ben. My name's Benjamin, but hated that growing up. Ran with Ben. My mum used to call me Benji, so it was a little nod. It's a nod to her. I lost my mum like 20 years ago, but I also had a vegan truffle business which I started over lockdown, and Ben's vegan truffles just sounded a bit naff, so Benji's vegan truffles kind of stuck, and it grew from there. Yeah,
nice.
Ben's
Would
all
you
right.
change your name to Russ if you had to change your name? If you had to be named something that wasn't Russ, what would you like to be?
Well, I've always been called different things, different variations of Russ. So Rusky, Ruskell. Someone used to call me Rustic Meg. I'm not joking. They did.
That's a stretch, isn't it?
I know. Yeah. Well, my actual nickname's Binbag, isn't it? If you've noticed me on my Twitter.
Yeah. How did that come about?
Have I not told you this story before?
Is it because you smell like bins?
No, and it's not because bin bags Russell either. It's not because of that. It's because, and I'll be very quick with this. It's because when I moved from Bridgehall to Brinnington, got hanging around with a load of new mates, and one of them told me that a fight had happened prior to me moving there, and somebody's ear got bit off. Now, coming from Bridgehall into Brinny, I thought, well, that's perfect. It's not perfectly normal, but it's plausible that someone bites someone else's ear off. You hear about it all the time. So weeks go by. I brought it back up when we were all talking together again. This lad curls over laughing, saying, I can't believe you believe that, and nicknamed me Binbag because you can fill me full of shit.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, have some fun with that.
There you go. So now you know why it's Binbag. There we go. Anyway, let's move on. Let's first talk about the Stevenage match. Benji, we'll talk to you about Bask and about your, why you support County. I was loving that video, by the way, the other day of you being presented by Chris Beaumont.
That's right. Yeah.
I know, that was brilliant. So we'll talk about all that later. But first, should we just get into Stevenage? Actually, just get into him because of the Saturday match. What did you make of that?
Wow. Sorry, Nick, are you going? I was just going to say, I was working at Bask, so we had like an all-day house party. So I guess luckily I didn't actually get to see the game. So I was just I was getting the updates, and actually thought we'd drawn. I didn't know that second goal had gone in till like half an hour after the game, which kind of like my mood went from right, still had like another 6 hours of house music to get through and the County defeat.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose there's best places to be, isn't they? Really.
Yeah.
You're listening to house music and you're in your own place, and it's a bit of an atmosphere. I mean, it's got to be worse places.
Definitely. Well, could have been there, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, yeah, having to drive back up. Yeah. Nick, what were you going to say?
My house wasn't a nice place to be when I was watching listening to the audio commentary only, because that's all you can get over here. When I was definitely listening and not watching. I was quite glad, because it's good to have a couple of early season defeats to kind of shed a few of the day trippers. Might be able to get a pint on Saturday now. So, fair play. Just lure them into a false sense of security. Now United and City are back. We'll shed a few of them now. They can stop patting us on the head.
I suppose there is that, isn't there? That the bubble has burst a bit. I'm not overly concerned, to be honest. But yeah, I definitely wasn't watching it on Saturday. I was definitely listening to it, and I was definitely listening to local radio in Stevenage. And I don't know if you heard those people that you were definitely listening to, the commentary from Stevenage. Oh my God. I've never heard anything so biased in my life.
Is it really? Yeah.
I was lucky. Yeah, I heard a few people complaining about that. I was lucky that my completely legal stream had the County commentary. I had the joys of Sam and Liam. So.
Oh right.
I was very happy with that. I don't know how. I don't know where to look for those sort of things. Someone furnished me with a link, because it's just I'm not a bad lad on the internet, or none of that piracy stuff. Not for me. I was definitely listening to the game.
Yeah, they were the Stevenage commentary team were awful. They were even saying things like, when one of our lads went down, they were going, "Oh, is that really a foul, referee? He went down like a sack of spuds." It's like this is radio commentary on.
Yeah,
Another one down onto the next one, I believe, was something else they said at one point when Collar was down with concussion.
Really,
Collar did not look in a good way.
No.
From my audio coverage, he didn't look well.
And we had the Stevenage podcast on last week, didn't we? And he was quite confident. I say confident. He was chipper, wasn't he? A bit chipper.
He'll be even more body chipper now.
Well, he will be. He'll be chipper now, and going off their result last night as well. And that's kind of where I was going with this, because he was very chipper about it, and I listened to their podcast during the week as well, which obviously covered our game on Saturday. They were saying that they would believe they could beat Reading now. It was before the Reading game, obviously, and obviously they did in the end. But it reminded me of when we got beat by Yeovil last season, and I listened to Glover's cast, and they were going, "Oh, we can make the playoffs. I'm sure we might even be pushing it," and they were giving it all that early season, and they all, obviously just tailed off for them.
Yeah.
There was definitely similarities, but it just goes to show, doesn't it? Barrow did a number on us on the opening day. They beat Blackpool last night, albeit on penalties, but they drew 0-0 away at Bloomfield Road. And then
they won they beat Bradford at home on Saturday as well.
Yeah. And they beat Bradford. Stevenage 2 out of 2. They beat Tranmere away on the opening day and then beat Reading. So I like to use that as a yardstick to say, is our first 2 matches, let's come on to the Harrogate match later, but is our first 2 matches really that bad? What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? I've only seen brief highlights of the Stevenage game, so I can't really judge on that. From what I've heard, it was a pretty poor performance, But second half of Barrow, if you take that, I know we're right up against it. They didn't threaten at all, did they? Once we started to get going, Barrow were like, right, different team. I think the mindset just needs to be that, doesn't it? We need to attack from the off. It's like, keep the ball on the ground, which is what we did last night. Much better. Instead of putting that ball up. Obviously Wootton wasn't playing last night, so there wasn't like a target man to be throwing the ball up to, but playing it on the deck, it just works so much better. It's just that people get more space on the ball. We seem more comfortable. We get more chances. I don't know. I'm not reading too much into those first 2 games. I think people are going well overboard with, last night, we'll go to this later, but the Harrogate fans kind of singing about relegation and all of that. It's like, come on, we all know this isn't happening.
Yeah, I think Stevenage played us at our own game to a certain extent, didn't they? Because we like to do the counter press really, really intensely. They did it to us. It felt like every time we got the ball, they were on us, based on what I was, what the official feed that I was watching that wasn't illegal at all. Yeah.
Steve Evans was having a good moan as we predicted, it being a Steve Evans team. We knew they're going to be niggly and horrible. That first half of football was just absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Not saying we performed particularly badly or they played particularly well. I think it was just horrible and bitty. It sounded it from the audio commentary. But yeah, it's one of, but then obviously going 1-0 up, you think, oh, here we go. We've got the tides turning now, and then just again as the week before, it was just silly errors that cost us.
Yeah. Any blame to apportion anywhere?
Probably, yeah. I couldn't see it though, could I? So I don't
know. Oh,
very good.
Very smooth.
Yeah.
But any blame that can be apportioned, and I think there's credit in the bank for said players. Loads of credit in the bank for said players. But some of the sort of reaction I've seen has just been a bit, I don't know. Again, it's because we lose, and every time we lose, I always see the one person, I see 99 people saying, "Oh yeah, well, they've got credit in the bank, and it's but we'll come good and all that," and then one person says, "This player shouldn't be in the team," blah 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 blah, and it personifies it somehow, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
There seems to be people who've just been starved of this drama all last season. And now, as soon as they've got an opportunity, they're just jumping straight on it.
Yeah.
It's makes you glad even more glad that we won last night.
Well, that's the thing. If we'd have lost last night, going into Saturday, and then if we didn't get a result Saturday, could you imagine?
Yeah,
it would have been Twitter wouldn't have been a pretty place, would it?
Like it is at the best of times.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's a good thing about getting that win last night. I think momentum now, hopefully, that can, I mean, it'd be interesting to see what team he actually puts out Saturday. Because some of those players last night were great. Like Joe Lewis was brilliant. I thought he definitely has put himself back in contention to be. I mean, he looked like a completely different player from he did in the Barra game. He was like commanding. He was winning every header. It was such a different performance. So that was really good to see.
Got some real selection headaches.
Yeah, which is what's needed, isn't it? We were always saying that last season. We needed the bench last night was great, which is there needs to be five people fighting to be on that pitch at all times, don't there? And last night, yeah, I mean it was a you could have everyone on the subs bench could have played last night and put a shift in, but weren't really needed.
Yeah, one sub did he make? Was it one in the end, or was there more made towards the end?
Quigley. Was it just Quigley? Might have just been Quigley.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Quigley for Evans. Yeah, Quigley for Evans, I think.
Yeah, Quigley for Evans with 20 minutes to go. That was it. Harrogate only made two as well, but Harrogate only had 5 on the bench as opposed to 7.
Yeah. So no, good. Yeah, no, it was like Jennings. Surprised to see him start actually, but he put a shift in and lasted the 90. He was grafting.
Yeah, this is his first full pre-season, isn't it? For 2 or 3 years. So
really, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh. So that could be quite significant then, couldn't it? So I was gonna sort of hone in on this last night's result, and we got there a bit early, but let's go with it anyway. I mean, we're 20 minutes in. Obviously, you said Joe Lewis was standout player. Just one thing from that: the club said that he was selected as the fans' man of the match.
Right.
How did that work? Because didn't put a poll out or anything? Did they?
I did put a poll. Yeah, I didn't see that, but I saw it this morning. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So where was that then? Was that on the website? They put the poll out.
On Twitter.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I've obviously missed that.
Yeah. I mean, he was. There wasn't really anyone who put a foot wrong last night, really. But he was. Yeah, I think coming off the back of that performance at Barrow as well, it obviously stood out a lot more. But he was great. I didn't see him. I think he won everything that he was involved in. And looked comfortable. Yeah, he looked like a player.
What about the keeper?
Yeah, again, comfortable. I think he had one. He tipped one over in the first half from like about 20 yards, and yeah, looked comfortable. Distribution was okay. It was all right. Yeah, he wasn't really threatened too much. I think they hit the post in the first half. I couldn't really tell whether he got a touch onto it, but failing that, they didn't really threaten too much.
Did we hit the post as well?
Did we? I can't remember.
I just remember seeing it on Twitter. Maybe it was them. I don't know.
At the bar, maybe. The heat was getting to me. My memory lapse.
So I tell you what, then, full Harrogate. Give us a full Harrogate away match report. Let's say match report. Away day report.
Away day report.
Yeah.
Well, we got there quite early. Actually, we set off about 1-ish. We got there about 3 and just kind of went for some drinks, had some food. Nice. Met some locals who were like, "Oh, who was playing tonight?" That kind of thing. And then kind of did the walk across I can't remember what the field's called, that big field which is in between like the ground and the nearest pub, and came across a bunch of Harrogate youths who gave us quite a lot of grief and kind of followed us to a pub shouting this, that, and the other. And yeah, we're going down and we get battered everywhere we go. But then, kind of more and more gathered to the point where they came outside. I can't remember what's that big boozer? You know which one I mean, don't you? That's near the ground.
Yeah.
And then the police arrived. They were like, you could see they were kind of like looking to pickpocket kind of county fans coming out at like certain places. But the police kind of took care of that one, I think. But they were up to no good.
Did they have hoods with goggles in them?
Yeah, they did, but they weren't up. Were
they down? Were they down? Right.
Well, it's summertime. They may be.
It's a bit hot for that, isn't it? Even for the self-conscious roadman.
Yeah. One of the lads that we were with, kind of like, I won't mention his name, but was kind of like been in trouble before, shall we say? And he was just like, God, 10 years ago, I'd have kicked their heads in. But no, it was just I think harmless fun, but they were definitely. I think if we'd have give it back, there would have been a bit of a fight.
Well, it always makes me laugh when these like kind of traditionally non-league, like not well supported clubs have like that element. It's like you're a town that's famous for like afternoon tea. What are you gonna do, lads? Cut the crust off my sandwiches, and charge me more for them.
Yeah. The first people we saw when we got in the ground, so that behind their goal, you could just hear a bunch of noise. I was like, "There's those kids!" And I'm like giving it loads, It's like, weren't singing at the end though, were they?
No. I hope they're listening.
Yeah.
They'll be watching Leeds at weekend, won't they?
Yeah, exactly. I think one of them had like Leeds United tracksuit pants on. I was like, come on, man.
Always the way. Yeah. That's quite depressing, that, isn't it?
Yeah, but other than that, Harrogate, nice gaff. Yeah, it's all right. Funny little ground. Don't think you could. I mean, I don't drink, but you couldn't get a beer inside the ground. There was no alcohol. It was just like £7.50 burgers and soft drinks. But no, it's good. Yeah, it's all right. Enjoyed it. Yeah, it's all right. I think I saw some county fans struggling to get in. I think there was an issue with tickets. Some people had driven up from Warwick. And they were like, flat, like, your tickets aren't here. And they were like, well, here's the proof. They're like, yeah, sorry. So I don't know what happened, whether they ended up getting in or not, but it was like, it started to get a bit kind of hairy outside with some people. I mean, you've done that drive, you're getting in that ground, aren't you, somehow? But
yeah.
The stewards were being, I mean, I read before I got there that I think last time County were there was stewards were like, kind of like taking people's hats off and searching and being pretty thorough with it. And it seemed like they were on that tip again a little bit, a bit OTT really,
So I went to Harrogate. They had would have been National League North when I went, so you could drink in view of the pitch and everything. And they had the little clubhouse at one end, and someone opened a window in the clubhouse, and that was it for the police. Just must about 50 of them just stormed down there, closed the clubhouse off. No more beer. It's like because someone opened a window. Yeah, very very peculiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought we'd seen the last of these little, Harrogate, the likes of Harrogate, obviously, but we weren't. It's tiny ground, isn't it? What did the pitch look like? Because they used to have a 4G pitch, didn't they?
You can still see parts of it past the kind of like the touchline, like there's still shades of it there. But no, it's pretty good, Nick. The actual pitch that they've got down there. I mean, I think this attendance was like 1,400 last night. So I think County pretty much had 50% of that. So it was a bit lame. Their support wasn't much going on.
Yeah. So onto the game then. Nigel 6446 says Newby hit the woodwork in the first few minutes.
Yes, there you go.
Did you miss that then?
Yeah. I don't know what was going on. Yeah.
So general, I mean, apart from Lewis then and sort of general play, how did we do? I literally was watching Twitter as the scores came in on Sky Sports News last night. Yeah. So how did we play generally? And anybody else that stuck out for you?
Good. Like I was saying before, keeping the ball on the ground was just like so much nicer to see, and it looked like they had a plan of action. It kind of, as soon as we kicked off, it's like first 5 minutes, it was just like County knocking the ball about and making space, creating chances. In terms of people who else stood out, I thought James Brown was good again. He seems like a lad in, doesn't he? Yeah, no, there wasn't. Yeah, Jennings, like I say, Jennings was putting a shift in. I thought Newby grew into the game. Second half, I thought he was better. Evans, again, I think it wasn't probably his greatest performance, but again, wasn't much. There wasn't much threat from them. I think if they'd have upped the ante a bit, I think we'd have had to dug in a bit harder. But because they didn't, I think it was quite comfortable for County. It felt like we did need a second goal in the last kind of like between 60 and 80 minutes. It kind of looked like potentially they were getting corners and it looked like something could happen. But we dealt with them all fine, and in the end, it was a fairly easy win.
Yeah, and 9 changes from the weekend defeat from Stevenage as well.
Yeah.
Judging on the personnel, I couldn't work out if we played 4 at the back or 5 at the back.
It felt like a 4. It did feel like a 4. Yeah.
So Johnson left centre back, Joe Lewis right centre back.
Yeah, do you know what, Johnson?
Right.
I've kind of had my moments with Johnson, but I thought him being a bit more central works. I think when he's got the ball at his feet, I'm always a bit like, get rid of it. Mm-hmm. But as a centre back, he just felt a bit more comfortable. He's good in the air, isn't he? So it was like, yeah, I think that does work better. But I think I've got a feeling he will start again where he was on Saturday. I can't see that changing. But who knows? You know what I mean? Those 9 came in. When you see that, don't you? 9 changes, you're kind of like, Christ, where are we going with this? But statement made, I guess, to some of them players that missed out. And you know what? Luckily, we pulled it off, and it wasn't like a massive disaster because it could have. Personally, I'm always quite pro County, mate, but I was like, oh, man, I don't know. Wasn't feeling it, but fair play, hats off to him. It kind of, it was good. And those players, you could see they were keen to play. So I guess that's what it's about, isn't it? Performing and try to stay in that team.
Yeah. Everybody's got to sort of step up when they're asked to step up. I wouldn't say do or die in that scenario, with the whole lost the first 2. But if you I think you said it earlier, if we lose against Harrogate last night, pressure's on Saturday against in front of a big crowd.
Yeah.
What team? I honestly, for me, prediction 11 on FanHub, I went with pretty much what we played against Stevenage. I changed a couple, I think, because I thought he'd be after the win with the team that he played in the first 2. So I was really shocked when he changed it, like with 9.
Yeah. I mean, I can't call Saturdays really. I can't see. I mean, Crankshaw, lively again, didn't do too much. He could have easily eaten their back 4, I thought. But Hippolyte was good. See, I'm a big fan of Miles. I think when he's on the pitch, I think we look more exciting. I think we create more chances, and then people don't know how to deal with him. So for me, I would start. I don't know exactly where to put him in the team, but I would start Miles. Like I think as an impact sub, great, all that, but get the job done. You know what I mean? It's just like I just feel the way that we started off and quite attacking last night. I think we have to do that. Not as reserved. Get the goals. Get it done at halftime. Then potentially make changes after 60 and shore it up a little bit. But yeah, Miles for me, he's got to start.
Mitch Bancroft says Brown and Johnson either side of Lewis, Hippolyte and Newby wing backs. So that would suggest 5 at the back. But would it have been a case, do you reckon, then, that Hippolyte and Newby were playing so much inside? A bit like, did you see City at the weekend?
Yeah.
Well, the heat map for Walker and Cancelo, Cancelo wears number 7, I think. They weren't even they weren't even acting like fullbacks. They were just up and inside. And I just wonder. I mean, I know it's top of the Premier League to League 2, but Hippolyte and Newby might have been floating, perhaps, and you couldn't tell that they were sort of operating at that wing back position.
Yeah.
What do you think, Nick?
I don't have much on tactical discussion, mate. Can I interest you in like an off-colour joke or something? Not so good on the tactics, mate.
So it'd be interesting to. I mean, I've not seen the match, and I've not seen Challoner's post-match interview yet. I don't know if you have, Benji. Have you watched it?
Yeah, I saw it when I got in. Yeah. Yeah.
What was the sort of the key points from that, if you can remember? I know you're not a journalist or anything. I'm just your opinion, really.
No, I mean, he was smiling, so that's a start, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was happy with it. I think he bigged up Joe Lewis. I think he was, he singled him out. Trying to think, it's quite late when I got back last night, but no, yeah, just positives. I think, and again, yeah, saying about people who can come in and doing a job, that it's not as easy for those. It's not an easy selection, is it, anymore? The county 11. I think last season you knew he was going to be playing week in, week out, and I guess now he's got that, like we were saying a minute ago, he's got that headache of people fighting for each position, which is perfect. And it's only a good thing for the players, that, isn't it? You can't be like resting on your laurels. I think you've got to have someone up your arse try to take that place. Because that's where it gets stale otherwise, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Just going back to Hippolyte as well. He's probably a victim of his own success, isn't he? Because he's good in every position. Yeah. So, every position that he plays, he's good in a lot of them. So, because he's not nailed down one, he's probably going to end up being one of those players that is drafted in from time to time.
Yeah, I've got an interesting little theory on Hippolyte as well. I think he'd do a job as a left centre back in a 3 as well.
I think he probably would.
I think he's got everything you require to do a job there, which is somewhere. That's a position where maybe the jury's out at the moment on Johnson and Kitchen. I'm surprised to see people saying that the jury's out on Johnson, because I thought he was very good last season. We immediately. I think what's kind of killed it a bit is we've not looked good on set pieces for a very long time.
Defending set pieces?
No, attacking.
Oh, attacking. Okay.
If you think about how many goals like Palmer and Johnson both chipped in with, particularly not long after Johnson signed.
Yeah,
there's been.
That's true.
We've got players like Starcevic and Rydell who've got very good deliveries on them. We've seen them before, but we just don't seem to be as much of a threat. I don't know what. I noticed we've been doing. Southern Hales has got a towel at home games for the long throws.
The long throw. Do you reckon he's got it in him?
I know it's better than that one Hippolyte did at Wrexham last season. Anyway, so that's an improvement. But I get a bit sickened at these these kind of like signs of modern football. So there's the towel, and also lying down behind a wall for a free kick.
The draft excluder,
I'm not calling it the draft excluder, Russ. I'm not doing
Why?
it. I'm just not doing it.
That's what it's called.
No, it doesn't need a name. Dicking about, that's what we'll call it. The only player I've ever seen hit a free kick under the wall and score is De Bruyne. I've never seen anyone else pull it off.
You haven't watched enough football then, surely.
I've watched plenty of soccer, Russell. Plenty of Togger.
Paul Street says Newby was slightly higher. It was more like a back four. Hippo, Johnson, Lewis, and Brown shifted across. So it's and then Mitch Bancroft comes back in, definitely a back five. I think it depends on. It probably depends on when you were looking at it and your outlook on it as well, because Newby is traditionally a winger, isn't he? Anyway, or a right-sided high guy. Or a central attacking midfielder, a right-sided high winger or inside forward kind of player. So if he's being asked to be like 80% attacking and only defending 20%, he's going to look like he's further up and that kind of thing.
Depends where you are in the ground as well, doesn't it? Mitch was behind the goal. I was on the side.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
I think we're going to have to invest in a drone, I think, so we can get a little picture.
Yeah. Well, Grimsby's match was stopped because there was a drone above the ground, above the pitch.
Oh, what, last night?
Yeah, so for safety reasons, the game was stopped until they found the operator of the drone.
Do you remember that World Cup? That World Cup where Paul Robinson was playing? It would have been either Japan and South Korea, but I think it was Germany, 2006 Germany, wasn't it?
10, was it not? 2000?
No, 2010 was South Africa.
Oh, it was, yeah. Vuvuzela. Yeah.
Oh, God. That's more modern football shite. No, there was a point where Paul Robinson like played the ball and it hit. They had like a scoreboard suspended from the roof of the stadium, and the ball hit the
Yes.
scoreboard. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really relevant here, but it just came back to my head.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, yeah.
it's kind of relevant, isn't it? Because if the ball at Grimsby had hit the drone, it's the same thing, isn't it? Almost.
Well, if you have a drone and you're flying it over a football ground, maybe you deserve to have it like smashed by a football. A great result for Grimsby last night as well. Well, while we were on it against Crewe in the cup, they're settling in like they've never been. Well, they've barely been away, have they? Really?
No.
But yeah, just straight back at it. Yeah,
Yeah.
another side that will be up there alongside ourselves.
Hopefully, alongside ourselves. Yes. Yes, indeed. So Jennings got the penalty. Good penalty. I saw a replay of it.
Yeah.
Keeper got his hand to it, didn't he? But
yeah, he got a slight touch on it, but yeah, he's pretty much drilled it, didn't he? So yeah, good. I missed the handball actually. I've got kind of like I was trying to watch it back. I've not really seen. I've seen a few people in the crowd with it, with the footage and that, but whether it was, I saw some people saying it was kind of like could have 50-50 whether it was an handball, but I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't tell from the highlights like what had happened, but the referee seemed to give it fairly quick. So
yeah,
good job we've not got VAR. It might have been overturned.
Yeah,
true. And cup draw tonight. Who do you want? Brazil away.
Brazil away. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, Burnley at home.
Oh, straight in there.
That's the one, isn't it?
Nice, wouldn't it? I think that'd be a great away day, wouldn't it?
Still regionalised as well, so that there is. If you look at it like regionally, there's some good ties there. Most of them are decent ties. I know we're going to get Fleetwood away. I just know it.
Yeah, Morecambe or somebody. Yeah,
Morecambe or Fleetwood away. That'll be it. But obviously, you want a Newcastle, a Burnley, or an Everton, don't you? I'd love Everton away because I want to go to Goodison like one last time before they move.
That's good. Yeah. Villa might be.
Oh,
Villa as well. Shades of 95, 96.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some good ones there. Obviously, tonight we've got Blackburn, Hartlepool, Middlesbrough, Barnsley, Port Vale, Rotherham, Sheffield Wednesday, Sunderland, and West Brom, Sheffield United. So some big hitters there. Although all the Championship sides got knocked out last night.
Well, all of them.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? You might be right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's our year.
It's our year. Yeah.
This is it. It's gonna be us and Morecambe in the semi-final, isn't it?
But you're right. Any Premier League team away would be nice. Otherwise, par for the course. Any team that we can beat at home, just to get an extra round out of it.
Yeah,
that would essentially be.
And then you get the proper big boys coming into it.
Yes. Do you know what? I'd love to see us play United away in our lifetimes. I know it happened in '76, didn't it? But
give it this season, we'll probably win.
Probably, yeah. I know.
Based on their performance on Saturday.
Unbelievable, isn't it? We'll talk about that on the GM Foot Pod. On the great. Well, I won't be with you tomorrow, but yeah, that's where we can where that discussion can be had. Yeah, Wigan got beat as well, didn't they? There's quite a few shocks.
Yeah.
I think looking at the prize money though, there's not a lot to go at.
Yeah, right. £100,000 when you win the cup.
What?
I think we got £5,000 last night or something ridiculous.
Yeah. We're talking like I think we got more than that for the FA Trophy run.
Yeah, £5,000 last night. I think if we win the second round, we get 7. Is that right? And then 10 or something after that.
The lads at Carabao need to start sticking their hands in the pockets.
It's crazy, that, isn't it? £100,000 for winning it.
That's unbelievable. I mean, it's no wonder that the big clubs put out second string teams, because there's nothing. There doesn't seem any benefit for it, does it? If it's that,
yeah, it's just futile, isn't it? But it's another chance for us to play a big hitter. We'll have 2 chances of that this season, hopefully.
rather than just the one.
Friend of the show, John Billsbury, said 78. Sorry, he was there in 78. We have unfinished business with United.
Yeah.
Yes. And then Dill Wood says it was 25 years ago. Stockport was in the semi-final of this cup against Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I was there.
I was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thanks for.
Very good days.
25 years is crazy, right? Jesus, that what it is.
Yeah. And it's 25 years since BA Now was released in about 11 days.
I queued up to get it outside HMV and Mersey Way. Remember?
George, you know what? See, I was round the corner. I was at what was the one
Our
round the corner?
I was at Our Price, mate.
That's where I worked. My first job was working at Our Price.
Our Price, was it?
Yeah, Mersey Way. Oh, sorry,
Music Zone. That's where I was.
Music Zone, yeah. Brilliant Music Zone. Yeah, I used to spend my whole days in there in the school holidays. What a place.
Yeah. Me and my mate Jacko and Steve getting our exam results that day from Reddish Vale. Wasn't even interested in the exam results. Straight down to Stockport to Music Zone to get the album.
Do you know, Oasis now are closer in time to Joy Division than they are to the present day. That's quite a sobering thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Just think about that.
How old do we all feel now?
So, how far are we going to go in the cup then, lads?
I don't know. I'll tell you later. When's the draw? 10
about 9:30, 10 or something.
Yeah. It'd be nice, wouldn't it, to replicate what we did in the 90s? That was unbelievable, wasn't it? But I don't know. I guess it all does depend on the draw, how the draw falls. But we've got it in us to frighten some teams, I think.
Yeah. Do you know who I'm really pleased for? I'm really pleased for all of those people that started supporting County when we're in National League North things in sort of late 2000s, who've never seen us get past the first round of the Coca-Cola Cup. Then,
yeah, that is correct.
Past the first round of the League Cup, just like my lad, he's really happy that we were on Sky Sports News last night and we had a reporter at the ground.
I couldn't believe it last night. I was just sat there like, this is what I used to do. This is what I used to do like 10, 15 years ago. You
messaged me, didn't you? You said it feels real now.
Yeah. Finally, after playing like Barrow, Stevenage, and Harrogate first 3 games, it's like, oh, we're actually on Sky Sports News and we're playing Colchester on Saturday. Colchester and Doncaster and Mansfield next up. Like, this is it now. It's happening. That's why I didn't get too bothered about Saturday, really. But obviously, because I didn't see the mistakes leading to the goals, so maybe that's why. Because I was just listening, so maybe that was why I wasn't. But yeah, I was just straight cracking on with it. I was like, it's good to be back. It's good to be back, getting our piss boiled by people of the ilk of Steve Evans. Just nice.
Yeah, people that you've heard of.
Yeah,
generally.
I've hated him from afar for so long that now I could just be like, yeah.
I didn't realise that Harrogate's manager was still the son of the chairman. I thought that story had ended ages ago.
Yeah, Gannon threw a bin at him that time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I think him and Conlon had a bit of a thing on the touchline, but he was every time a player went down, he was like right on the ref, and giving it that. It was he was getting a bit of abuse from the county lot.
By the sound of it, there's a bit of unrest amongst their fans now with the ownership situation well, they've been calling for his head for years. Even when they were close to getting promoted from the National League, there was fans that wanted him out.
Really?
Yeah. But I don't know what they expect. What? Oh, yeah. Football league when really you've got no right to be. If you look at the fan base and everything, it's like, well, what are you doing here? There's teams like Wrexham and Notts County and Chesterfield that should be by rights traditionally up here, and now the fans are actually getting arsey. It's just weird. Yeah. Oh, I did notice on their live tweets last night. It was just one guy replying to all of them. Just one guy.
Was it?
Just one guy getting really annoyed that they've lost in the cup narrowly. Yeah, it's very, very weird.
Yeah, bit of a weird one, isn't it? I'm not sure about when you said by rights because you're there. Everyone's there on merit, aren't they?
Yeah, I
Whether
mean
you've got investment.
traditionally.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of saying that before we get comments coming in and emails from the listenerships.
Oh no, we definitely deserve to be where we were, as chronicled on the Magnificent Dark Day series, still available.
Still available to listen to.
All the places. Stay smooth, that smooth.
Love it. So Colchester on Saturday then. What do we know about Colchester?
They're another one who had a very good cup win. Like they won at Ipswich.
They did, yes.
Didn't they? Yeah.
I've
done my research on the EFL Cup, mate. You know, I had to sit through all this waiting for us to get mentioned. So you're gonna hear
it. Yeah. What do we know about them? I mean, what's their first two results been like? I don't know. I need to look it up. I should have done some research. I've been in a bit of a rush today. I do apologise.
They are one of those clubs, Colchester, though, that they just you just don't have an opinion either way. You're just like, yeah. So I assume we need them in the pyramid, but I don't know what. I don't know why.
Yeah.
They've got 1 point from 2 games. They lost 3-2 at Northampton, then 1 all home to Carlisle.
Yeah, so they've not had a great start, have they? My outstanding sort of thing about Colchester is I just remember that season where we played Huddersfield in the first match and we had Luke Beckett, Warren Feeney, Neil Cutler, and it was like a really good team and we was ready to go and we got beat by Huddersfield in the first match. I just remember playing them second, Colchester, and I think they beat us 2-1. And Beckett got the consolation, and it's just like that's all I can ever remember about Colchester. They just seem to be like a meh sort of club, don't they?
Yeah. Well, for me, we had when we got relegated to League One under Palmer. I'm pretty sure our first game was away at Colchester, and I think it was a draw. It's just meh.
Yeah. It's one of those grounds that is it Layer Road? It's probably called something like sponsorshipy now, isn't it? But
Layer Road. Have they not moved? Has it not moved to a new stadium at some point?
They might have done in the 11 years that we were out of the league that I didn't give a shit.
Yeah. A lot of them have.
Have you noticed that? So growing up, I used to know all the. I say growing up into me sort of 20s. So we dropped out of the football league. I used to know all the grounds and all the nicknames and loads of all the team news. Since we dropped out, I don't know if Colchester could have moved twice, as far as I know.
They are now at the Colchester Community Stadium, known for sponsorship reasons as the JobServe Community Stadium. So the Colchester Community Stadium, then August 2008 they moved in there, but it's the same size as Layer Road.
Right.
Yeah,
so it's just one of those away games that I've just never really been asked about ever going to.
It's just one of them places that I couldn't tell you where it is.
Yeah, where is it? Where is Colchester?
It's Sussex. Is it not Sussex or Suffolk?
I'm assuming it's fairly close to Ipswich, I'd imagine. Because
I think it's Suffolk.
Talked up as a bit of a rivalry last night. Yeah.
So it's a bit of a trek.
I'll just add it to the list alongside Peterborough.
Yeah.
Could be anywhere, mate. Could be. If I under threat of death, I had to point to it on a map. I'd just shoot me, lads. Not got a clue.
You see, I'd be able to point to it generally on a map. I mean, we're getting the messages in now. It's in Essex. Essex.
There you go.
So generally, I'd be able to point to it on a map because it used to be the capital, didn't it, before Londinium?
Yeah. Yes, that's a good bit of history there, Russ. It's like watching BBC Four then.
You have my son to thank for that because he's a history buff. Yes, he is. He loves his history and he loves sort of strategic warfare. He's going to be some sort of dictator when he grows up, I'm sure. Moving on. Oh, yeah. Rob Vernal has said Essex as well, so we've got 3 Essexes. Thank you.
Any votes for anything else?
Any advances on Essex? Fan park. What do you think of the fan park plans?
Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, I've seen it at other grounds, and I think it works dead well. I think it can. It'll make that match day experience, won't it, for probably a lot of the younger lot. I think it'll. It can only be a good thing. Nice space for it to be. Need somebody to book some bands there, don't they?
Yeah,
And, if it's done right, it should be good. That, I mean, I can see why they're doing it. I saw the statement regarding trying to ease the bars inside the ground, and did they mention there was like you could go and get something at half time? There was something. I'm sure it said half time. I mean, how does that work? That'd be chaos, surely.
Well, I don't know. I think it depends where it's going to be. Are we all in agreement that it's going to be in the car park? Because all the cars will be moved to the new car park.
Yeah.
So it'd be in the Cheadle Lane car park, probably against the fence towards the houses. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And then I guess they'd close the gates once everybody's in, and you can only get out if you need to get out.
I guess.
I guess that's how it works.
We've only got 15 minutes, haven't you? I know some people will probably go out there before the end of the first half, but I can just see that being just crazy. I'm sure it'll be. I can't see how it'll work, the halftime thing. Obviously, before the game, maybe after, but the halftime thing needs some thinking, I think. But yeah, good. Yeah, it's good that they're thinking about these things.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the guest food vendors as well. That's going to be.
Yeah,
interesting. Because as much as I despise Man City and everything they stand for, that's another thing that they do really well.
Yeah,
it's the whole fan park experience pre-match. Yeah, I mean they have like bands on and artists and DJs and stuff. Yeah, really cool. They have Northern Soul grilled cheese as well there, which that's the only thing that would make me defect to City. I think the Northern Soul grilled cheese.
You just need those. So I was going to say, get Andy's eight days a week pies in there, and
yes,
so many like local Stockport businesses that'll you know straight away which ones will smash it there. Satan's Kebab, they usually do Rudy Friday, brilliant, yeah.
Ryan Moore says Peterborough's near Cambridge. Can I just stop you there, Ryan? Where's Cambridge? No, you lost me.
I've got a feeling we're going to go on a magical mystery tour of England now with Brian, because he's going to say Cambridge is near Swindon or something to that effect.
No, Swindon's near Bristol.
Yeah, sorry. Cambridge is near Boston.
Oxford. Massachusetts.
What would you like to see at the fan park that maybe has not already been mentioned? I know you said bands and things. I'm not sure if that was mentioned. Cambridge is near Peterborough. Oh, we're in an infinity loop now, aren't we?
Yeah.
So comment in as well. Let's get some stuff on the air for County to listen to if they do indeed listen to this podcast and our ramblings. But what else would make it a good fan park? Because it's kind of like they called it a fan park themselves, didn't they? So.
Yeah, water park.
I want a water slide going from my seat in the Cheadle End all the way down to the. I want like a Wallace and Gromit type thing. That's what I want.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm only judging again the City one because I've had bands play that one there, and I guess former players they kind of do Q&As, don't they? They do kind of like quiz stuff, the giveaway stuff. There's some kind of football game. Maybe put a goal up there, I don't know. There's a few things they can do. Simple stuff, isn't it? That just would make it work. I mean, it obviously
should get some people who are used to having like light-hearted on-stage banter with players, both current and former. Maybe that's the type of thing they could do.
It could be a thing, couldn't it?
Yeah. Do you know anybody, Nick?
No. I'm hoping you would.
The football thing is a good idea as long as like a stall where kids can kick a football and try and get it into the holes, get 3 out of 5 and they win something. That'd be pretty good as long as it didn't look like something off Towing Market.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's got to look good, hasn't it?
You've like whoever's a sub keeper that day, like facing penalties. We could have like a little sideshow thing where you can body slam Charlie Russell.
Yeah.
Just him having to relive the weirdest moment of his life over and over again.
If he's not up for it, we just get a dummy of him and see what you can reenact it. And there's a photographer there that sends you to a booth to have your photo, number 57.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was doing that one nearly came up then. On a more practical note, more toilets. Do we need more toilets?
Yes,
You
we need more
think?
toilets. Yeah, definitely.
I'm
See,
not sure.
I've never been on board with the whole, like, people complain that pubs are dying and then spend the whole weekend like sitting in a shipping container, like drinking. But in this case, I am all for it. You know, like when they go to like some shipping container on some industrial estate near Ancoats
Yeah.
and drink like something warm out of a jar.
I don't.
Yeah.
What is this you speak of? I don't know.
It's the thing. It's all the rage now, Russell.
Is it a bit like having your food served on pieces of wood
on a shovel?
Yeah.
on a shovel?
Don't get me started on that. Still can't get over that.
Edgy. Just a pie and a pint, maybe a Bovril. Football becoming proper Americanized. Be having halftime show soon. He's like you. He's like you, Nick. He's against modern football.
Yeah, he knows the score. Edgy does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not for because they've done it with the Champions League final, didn't they? They had the show beforehand, and it's just it doesn't work. Stop it.
Do you remember was it the Wildcats that we used to have?
Yeah,
under the Caldwell boxing eras. Yeah.
That was another surreal one, wasn't
it? Yeah, I've lost my train of thought now. Well, so okay, so we've named a few things. So if they are, this club aren't going to take any notice of any of that we just said, are they?
They're losing out if they don't.
Any sort of real practical ones then, like really good ideas that you've been serious about. Come on, Benji, you're in the entertainment business. Come on.
Yeah, my go-to thing's always bands, DJs, and all of that, isn't it? But the good thing is that City did do it quite well. They have a guy there who's really good. He books like one of the stages at Kendall Calling, so the bands that are coming through him. So it's always been like a pretty good high level. So they just need someone around who can do that in Stockport. I've got an idea it could be, but. That's probably a conversation for another day. But I don't know. There's no reason. There's so many bands that would work. Just doing. And I think at City they do like throughout the afternoon. It's like they'll do 3 songs, then there'll be something else, couple more songs, and just before they go on, maybe a couple more. And I know that City they then show what's going on in the stadium, don't they, on the screen, so people who have gone inside still get to hear or see what's going on. I think obviously County could probably be able to make that work as well. I need to have a think, don't I? Put a proposal together.
Yeah, 100%. Good stuff. Right, shall we move on?
That's something else we should do, Russ. We
What's
should have
that?
like them things at the seaside that you put your head through. Put your head through and take a picture.
Yeah.
And you're like a chubby lady or something. They should have that, but it's you saying good stuff, and people can like pose next to it. It's like, say it, Russ, say it. You're like Bart Simpson in that episode where everyone's like, say it, say the thing. It's like good stuff. Everyone's like, yes. Chips, as Mark Smith points out, would be nice. I would love chips. Just now, in general.
Yeah. I don't know. Would you trust? Would you trust them to do decent chips? It's got to be decent, aren't they? You can't beat chippy chips. They're the only type of chips I want when I'm eating out.
Get the fryery and then get the fryery to have a little mobile thing.
There you go.
You know what? There's kind of like they for people who are vegan, you can't eat anything in the ground. It's literally nothing. You can't even have the coffee because it's got like milk granules in it. It's mad, right? you have an overpriced bottle of water.
Yeah. In fact, that's my call out is I'd like proper coffee in the ground. The coffee out of these Dow Edbert's peel back things. It's horrible stuff.
Yeah.
Get a proper coffee van in the corner.
Yeah.
I'd be there every match.
They can definitely improve, can't they? In some ways.
Yeah.
Easily. Yeah.
Russ just wants a latte, man. How hard is it?
No. Americano, we call milk all day long. Don't do all that bloody latte, cappuccino nonsense.
Do you like a mocha? I like a mocha, mate.
No.
Well, all right, it's fine, mate. You know, if everyone liked the same thing, it'd be dull, wouldn't it?
It would be. It would be.
And then luckily, this isn't dull at all.
No, and talking about not being dull, should we move on to Benji and why he supports County? Let's do that. Benji,
Hello.
Before we get onto that, can I just say, please, this is my time to say this. Please do subscribe to our channel if you like it, and hit the like button as well. If you're listening,
no good stuff, but it's all right.
What are these comments that are coming in? Yeah, if you're listening on a podcast player, review it, like it, share it, all that other stuff, please, and that would be great. Thank you very much. Right, Benji. Obviously, you've been a County fan since forever. Do you want to tell us when you started supporting them and why, and what year it was, and we'll try and guess how old you are?
Yeah, right. Here we go then. Yeah, so born in Stockport, Stepping Hill, grew up in Heaton Moor. So first county game was 88 against Exeter. We won 2-1.
Nice.
And yeah, just you know that kind of like thing you see now, like people going to the ground for the first time and just being blown away from it. It was I can picture it all. Like I remember walking down from the car to the ground and just being like, this is nuts. Like just couldn't grasp it because up to that point we'd only have seen something like that on the telly. But so my older brother and older sister, they weren't into football at all, and there's a bit of an age gap between us. And my dad, who's a big football fan, like tried very hard with me. So I was at kind of like county soccer schools growing up, and yeah, it clicked with me. Football was literally like my life, you know. And at school, very good friends with the Burke twins, who I think you guys know John, who does Classic County on Twitter.
Oh right,
so we used to go week in week out, home and away. Oh, that run that we had in the Coca-Cola Cup, I think we pretty much did. Pretty sure we did all of them, you know. And yeah, so County's always been like a big part of my life, and kind of doing little bits with them now is just like mind blowing for me. Really, it's good. I mean, we're sponsored for Bask. We're sponsoring the Swindon game at the end of the month, which is exciting. Something I always kind of wanted to do, but never got to that point, you know. So yeah, no, back then those Friday night games and going from a birthday, I remember being like, "What do you want to do for your birthday?" And it'd be like, "Oh, go to County," and there's like pictures of us where there's like a row of like me and my mates there, like I'm like buzzing, the rest are all like United and City fans, just kind of like sober faces. But yeah, County special, isn't it? It's just something that's it takes 99% of my brain, I think.
Well, it's not just me then.
Yeah.
Love it. So tell us about the time that you were presented with something, probably at a soccer school, was it, by Chris Beaumont and
you know what,
Dorothy as well, was
it?
So
I'd totally forgotten about this, to the point where we did the Phil Brennan's book launch at County, at Bask the other week, and Chris Beaumont was there, Andy Thorpe was there, and I remember saying to my dad, I said, I'm sure there's like a photo of me. It would have been, what would that have been, like 1990 maybe or something, at Cheadle-town. I think it was at Cheadle-town, where they kind of like, you do the soccer school, and at the end they'll present you with a trophy. Steve Bellis is on the video, actually. It's kind of like brilliant. And it is, and we dug it out, and it's like it's me going up in like a fake England tracksuit from like the 90 World Cup. And it's Chris Beaumont, it's Andy Thorpe, it's Andy Kilner, kind of like giving me a thing, and I'm kind of like looking up. And then obviously Chris was there the other night, so I had a photo with him, was telling him about it. And he was like, Christ, when was that then? Was that like a few years back? I was like, I think it was 1990. He was like, Jesus. So no, good to look back on those things. There's loads of little county things. Like going back through photo albums, I'm like, man, no way. Yeah, there's like pictures of me with all sorts of people. In fact, there's one of me with Tom Bennett, like fast forward like a few years from that. And then we did hospitality. I took my dad to hospitality for whatever game was. And he was the guest, like, in hospitality, and had another photo with him then. And it's Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's just like memories all the time just keep cropping up. My memory's hazy from back then, but luckily my dad kept, he was the guy with the camera all the time. So there's videos and there's footage that I've completely forgotten about. And that one's a special one, isn't it? It's good.
Yeah. Does your dad still go, by the way?
Yeah, you know what? So yeah, he does. So me and Sarah got season tickets. So sometimes Sarah can't make it, so my dad will come. So he's coming on Saturday actually. My dad's 84 now, so obviously he's from North London. My dad, so he moved up here to be with my mum in like the 60s. So county, yeah, he's kind of like an adopted Stockfordian, but yeah, he loves county. Gets frustrated with him, but as we all do. Yeah, it's great. I mean, I love going with my dad. So yeah, Saturday will be a fun one.
How does that work with Bask then? Because obviously you've got essentially a bar to run, and season ticket at county, going to away matches. I know you've got business partners and things. Is it just is that just an agreement? I'm going to county. You can you run stuff for us?
Yeah, the good thing is all of so there's 4 of us that own Bask. One's a City fan, Gareth. Ian's a United fan, and Simon's a Wigan fan, and they're all very much into football, and they know how much it means to me, and they understand. The Bask and the Stockport County connection is quite strong. It's kind of like they loved being in there the other night, and there's talk of us doing a few more little bits. Obviously, Dave Challoner was in there. I think he wants to come to our comedy night. So it's they totally understand that there needs to be a connection, and they know how much I just talk about it day in day out. I mean, obviously we got the keys to Bask because it was going to be a restaurant originally. We got the keys in January, so for 4 months before we went down a different route and turned it into Bask. The season was kicking on, wasn't it? And it looked like there was potential of us going up, and then there was that little blip at the end, and so they've seen my moods go like up, and so yeah, no, they know that it's a big thing for me, and they're happy for me to go. Obviously Saturday I would have gone to Stevenage, but we had this big event and we hadn't done a dance event before, so I kind of like stuck to my guns. But no, they're very much understanding, and they're very much behind me being there. Yeah, county win. I'm in a good mood, aren't they? So it's good for them.
Yeah. How did the Bask thing come about then? Because obviously I've been in there. It's a great place. Even my missus goes, "Should we go to Bask?" And that's saying something, with a place in Stockport. So how did it all come about and the idea around it?
So going back to kind of like lockdown, obviously I was working in music, so working for music venues. I was working in Liverpool at a venue and came out of that just before lockdown because it looked like things were shut down, weren't they? There was no live music that you could go to. So I very much been into cooking for the past like 3 or 4 years, vegan myself, and made these vegan truffles, and to the point where branded them up, got a website, started selling them, had them in the Trafford Centre, had them in restaurants in town. And my partner Sarah, her dad worked with Simon and Ian, and they were doing a Macmillan morning, and said, he was like, listen, give us some truffles, we'll take them in, you might get some sales out of it. And Simon was like, man, these are really good, and would you come in and maybe we'll have a chat about us investing into it? And I went down to the big depot in Curry's, went to the depot and sat in this boardroom, and we were working out all the figures, and he was like, it's a bit small fry. He's like, where'd you see it going? I said, I'd love to have like a cafe or a restaurant. He's like, well, let's just do that. And suddenly was like, right, okay. So wrote a menu. He's like, I'll find the site, and we looked at one on Underbank, and then we saw this site up in Grand Central. And like, I'd not been around that place for years. I didn't even know all those new builds were there. Like, obviously knew that back in the day, like Heaven and Hell and cinema and all of that.
Yeah.
I was like, Christ, this is different. I actually thought they'd move the station entrance. I couldn't even get my bearings. So I was like, man, it's a big place. And they were like, better to grow into somewhere. This is it, location. So we went with it. And then we had issues with extraction kind of for 4 months. We were battling it out with the council to try and allow us to either go up and out the building roof or out the front. And it got to like 4 months. I remember sat down there and it was like, we need to have a rethink here. What do you think about us doing a bar? And it kind of moved from just being a cocktail bar. And obviously my past like 20 odd years working in live music was like, well, you should do live music. Maybe you should get DJs. And it's like, oh, maybe you should put a stage in. And it's just grown and grown and grown. And looking back on it now, Bask was, that was a better option, I think. And it's just been received so well. I think Stockport probably did need somewhere like that. it's a nice looking place. I think some of the music and some of the bands and the DJs that we have got coming in there, you know, probably haven't ever played Stockport before. So being able to pull on like what I've done previously, and you know, it can be a hard sell Stockport to some of the agents for some of the artists, but I think, you know, having like Liam Frey come and do something off the cuff, and Ben from Gomez, and we've had Johnny Brown, and there's more stuff that's been announced recently, and yeah, it's just great. And I think it's a nice place to hang out. Music's good. The drink prices are good. It's, you know, we've got the square out front. It's just everything's connected at the right time. I think obviously Stockport is on the up regarding the infrastructure of this, that, and the other. And yeah, it feels good. I was a bit skeptical at first about how big it was, but it's kind of getting to the point, especially at weekends, where it's like one in, one out. You know, it's mind blowing, really.
Yeah. So what's happened to your vegan truffles then?
You know what? I'd shelved it because when we were going to launch the Benji's Vegan Kitchen, which is what it was going to be called, I was going to bring them back and we were going to rebrand them, and I just haven't had time to do it. But as soon as I do have time, we should sell them at the bar. Really, you know, I mean, they are vegan, but you wouldn't even know. That's like, you'd never know there was no dairy in them. They taste like chocolates, you know. I just don't have, you know what, I'd have to wrap my brains on how to make them. It's been that long. It's been about, I think the last time I made them were at Christmas. So yeah. So at the minute they're on the back burner.
Nice. And so what's next for Bask then?
Bask,
It's short term and medium term, I guess.
Yeah. So short term, just more events. I mean, don't want to be super event heavy because I do like the idea of people just being able to rock up and have a drink. So
yeah.
We do comedy. We do the live music. We do DJs. We do a spoken word night. There's going to be a quiz launching next month. Friday, Saturday is always free entry. It's just Gareth Brooks is DJing, so it's brilliant. It's like 7 till 2 a.m. and then everything else is dotted around it. So more of that, more touring artists, people, you know, bigger artists in smaller venues. We're looking at doing full band sets. So the first one's booked in for September. There's some more stuff at the end of the year. So a bigger stage is coming in, bigger PA. So that, potentially some stuff out in the square. So we're talking to the council about maybe doing something with store, maybe even a stage out there and doing something, you know, like a bit of a festival theme. And then ideally like another Bask somewhere. That's where we want to be. We want to replicate it somewhere else. Yeah.
Nice. If you think, I don't know if you're thinking of bands, but a friend of the podcast, Rob Brittany, he's got a band, Palaver. Don't know if you've heard of them.
I've put Palaver on, yeah. I've put them on in the past, yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, it's great. It's got to the point now where people are getting in touch with me about playing, as opposed to me being like, got this new venue. It's like people are starting to hear about it, and even agents are coming to me with artists now, which is brilliant because I didn't think that would happen until probably stepping into next year. But no, it's good. I mean, we've set up our own live promotions company, Bask Live. So we're putting on stuff elsewhere. So if it's too big for us, or, you know, production-wise doesn't work, we're doing like Dub Pistols at the Academy, doing some shows in Liverpool. So yeah, it's good. It's good. It's kind of what I know. It's you know, I don't think I'd ever step away. I thought I was going to be stepping away a little bit because of the restaurant, but I've been pulled back in again.
Reeled back in.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what I know. I know it inside out. So it'd be a shame to stop it. So it's not stopping anytime soon. That's for sure.
Lovely. And I bet you wish you had your album cover now, don't you, Nick? Hey, so we could talk more about music. Why have you not got your album cover?
Too hot, mate.
Too hot to have an album cover.
Can't be arsed. It's just a lot of rooting about, innit? And you know,
there's literally album covers right behind you. You could just get one rooting about.
I went big last week, didn't I? With the whole new theme that I was gonna do, where it related to who we're playing the following Saturday, and then no one comes from Colchester,
apart from
the drummer from Blur. But I don't have a Blur vinyl, inexplicably. We just walk around in bucket hats all week in my house. These are all Oasis. We've not moved on.
So music taste growing up then, Benji. I mean, you mentioned about Oasis before. Was it all that?
No, so I come from quite a musical family. So my dad was a touring bass player and played with all sorts of people. Played bass for Jerry Lee Lewis on a couple of shows, like
So your crazy stuff
Wow.
that my dad's done. And my mum was a show dancer. My brother and sister were in bands. So my dad was into like Fats Domino. My mum would be playing like ABBA. My brother was into all sorts. I mean, my brother and my sister are the ones that kind of passed down the records. So I was into all sorts. I remember Jay giving me an album by a band called Rancid, kind of like punk band from. So that kind of got me into that. Beth gave me albums by the Roses and like Cud. So my tastes are all over the place, which is a good thing. Obviously, when you're doing the job I do, it's you kind of like, you don't pigeonhole at all. So, but yeah, Oasis were a big thing for me. The Roses got me into drumming. So I was a drummer for a load of years in different bands, and then I worked in our price. So again, that just had music on tap, and then went into live promotion. So yeah, music's. I mean, if I had to choose between music and football, music's getting the door. Yeah, it's kind of like it would have to be footy. Footy's always been like number one.
It's funny because I remember I'll just a bit of a segue this, but I remember an interview with Jake Bugg. Obviously, he's a big Notts County fan.
Yeah.
Somebody asked him if you could play for Notts County or be a musician like you are now, which would you be? And he just went musician. I'm not going to play for Notts County.
No, mate. No, that'd be the complete other way, mate.
Would you?
Yeah, I wouldn't even have to think about it. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I would as well, but I've never been any good at any musical instruments. I've got 3 guitars on my wall, basically. They're just on my wall for decorative purposes.
Ornamental. So it's a theme pub.
Yeah, I have tried on and off to learn guitar, but I get past 5 chords and think it's too hard now to switch between them. So stop.
Can't keep playing Wonderwall, can you, mate?
No.
Everyone's sick of it now.
Yeah. Could do a bit of a decent Karma Police, but only the opening 4 bars or something. But yeah. No, it's really good. Cheers for that. If you're listening, watching, whatever, get yourself down to Bask if you haven't been there already, because it's a really good place, really good night out. And like you said before, Benji, prices are really reasonable, aren't they?
Yeah.
When I go to Stockport, and if it's not spoons or whatever, I'm looking at, for me and my wife, I'm looking at 9 or 10 quid for a drink generally, or if we're in Manchester for a round. And it's a lot cheaper in Bask, I can tell you that.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I mean. We wanted to. We ain't greedy at all. It was never about that. And we still make it's obviously we were there to make money, but
yeah,
it kind of shows how greedy some bars are because some of the prices compared to ours. It's like I go in places now, look at the menu, I'm like, Jesus Christ, we're probably too cheap here. But yeah, it's obviously it's working for us being there. I'd rather people are in the bar having a good time, and if they can go home with some money in the pocket as well, it's everyone's happy, aren't they?
Yeah, and just for clarity as well, I think we spoke about it briefly. You are not going to be a designated away pub, are you?
Oh, no. The police came in. God, when was it? It was maybe 2 weeks before Barrow, and they were like, "Right, yeah, so this would be a good space for the away fans." I was like, "I'll stop you there, mate." I was like, "It just can't happen." I mean, we had some Barrow fans come in on the Saturday, and they were well behaved. As people, there's obviously going to be some teams where, it's going to be, not today, lads. The police are pushing for us to have some away fans in there and try to manage it. But okay, you saw it how busy it was before the Barrow game. It was like it's just full of county. Those guys wouldn't have fun in there anyway. It's not there to cause bother. It's not.
Yeah.
Not.
It's counterintuitive for them as well, because when they get off the train, they're going to go towards Edgeley. To come back on themselves to Bask doesn't make any sense to me. So, just for that reason alone, it should stay county. I'll be coming every now and again on a Saturday pre-match anyway as a walkthrough. So,
nice
I'll see you there. But you probably see me most Saturday nights, I guess, as well. So
I saw you the other week, and I was waving to you, and you didn't even see. Through me.
He does this. This is what he does to his public.
No, I'd had too many Cruz Campos. That was my problem. I had too many Cruz Campos. And then when I did go to leave, I saw you at the bar, sat at the bar with a mate, and I thought, oh, I won't go and bother him now. I'll just slip away. Didn't want to embarrass myself either.
No, sure, say hello, mate.
But yeah, have you? Do you know what I was just about to say? I was going to say, Nick, have you been in yet? But of course you've been in, because we did that gig. We didn't.
Yeah,
didn't we?
Did we? No one mentioned us.
No. Have you seen? Oh no, you saw that, didn't you, Benji? That we were in the program, but didn't get a mention.
I know.
And neither did Ben. So Ben's in the same boat as us.
Yeah. Boo.
Boo hiss.
Who has?
Anyway, so what have we learned, Nick? Should we wrap it up? What have we learned?
What have we learned? Are you going to tell me what we've learned, or am I going to tell you what we've learned?
Well, you tell me. You tell me what we've learned.
Okay. One, Stevenage and Barrow might actually be quite good at football.
And I think that's probably fair to say. I think we've just hit on the first two teams that are having good starts to the season.
Yeah, if you want to look at the team that's going to be circling the drain, look no further than last night's opponents. That's my tip. Number two, panicking in August is for day trippers. Are we agreed on that?
Yes, I think we are agreed on that.
Yeah,
yes,
day trippers and bad gimps. Panic in August. Day trippers and bad gimps. And finally, and most importantly, we really don't know where anywhere is.
No.
We don't have a clue.
Is that because we've been out of the Football League too long?
Nope, I'm just geographically ignorant. Just not got a clue, mate. Not got a clue. And anything south of Birmingham, don't care. Anything south of Manchester, I don't care.
Oh, that's us in Stockport, is it not?
Anything south of the Greater Manchester / Cheshire area, I don't care.
What's your hot take, Benji, on Greater Manchester? And are you bothered about that, or are you a Cheshire? Are you a Cheshire person? Although I say Heaton Moor, north of the Mersey, you're probably a Lancashire lad, aren't you?
It was always Cheshire growing up. Yeah, man. Stockport's its own thing. I'm not fussed what happens elsewhere. Yeah, Stockport literally is standing on its own 2 feet, and it feels like for the first time in ages, in more ways than one. It's buzzing. Did you see that piece in the Evening News that Phil Brennan had? It's great, isn't it? It's just like,
Yeah, God.
Yeah, it feels exciting now. People are moving to Stockport.
Yeah, I know it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't know. Before we do get to the end, the very end, Nick, do you want to talk about ice lollies again? Do you want to do that bit again? Are we done with that? Or?
I'll never be done with it, mate. I don't think I'll ever be done. But I like a fruit pastel lolly, in case anyone's wondering.
So you like fruit pastel lollies? What's your favourite, Benji?
You know what I had today from the shop? They do. Do you remember Wham bars? Those
They
really
do.
Like, used to mess your teeth up. They've got like sour raspberry or something. Decent. Yeah,
so you see, I like Wham bars, and I like fruit pastel lollies. But there's only I just can't decide between the two.
There's only one way to find out. Fight!
I've always wanted to play that. I've always wanted to play that.
You've been waiting an hour and 23 minutes, and you got what you wanted.
I know. I'm gonna go to bed happy now that I've done that.
Iceland do a very good selection of like retro sweet shop ice lollies that I recommend. I'm a big Iceland fan anyway, mate. Love a bit of Iceland. I like the new Kerikatona. Right.
Right. Should we leave it there? Okay. Yeah, should we try to leave it there, Nick? Anything more to say?
Yeah, I was agreeing with you, mate.
Okay, right.
Right,
Look, what we've got to remember is there's no right time to panic. After everything we've been through from semi-professional regional football all the way to the Football League, we know as county fans just what it takes to reach rock bottom and survive. So let's give the lads some time. Even after last night's result, let's get behind them on Saturday and let's get our first Football League win in 11 years. And with that, I will say good night. Bye.